Hello, everybody. Welcome to Empowerful You. Today I want to talk about a subject that not many of us really want to talk about, and that's about rejecting wise counsel. You know, rejecting wise counsel. No one ever wants to hear, I told you so. Nobody wants to hear that. However, sometimes we need to listen to the advice of other people. Sometimes we ask for advice. Do we follow it always? No. Because most times we think we know what's best for us. We're looking at it from the inside in. Then other times people are looking at it from the outside in. And usually the view is better a lot of times from the outside in. Because most times when you're on the inside and something is right up in your face like this, you see how my hand is? I can't see you. You can't really see what's going on. A lot of times we're led by our emotions, how we feel. And your emotions sometimes can lead you wrong. You know what I'm saying? So we can't lead all the time with our emotions. Somebody in the situation has to have a level, sober head. Somebody has to be the one with some type of wisdom. You understand? Like, say there's a disagreement and you get into an argument, heated debate with a friend, a coworker, family member, whatever. Somebody's got to be the adult in the situation. You can't go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then somebody, if you guys cannot come to that, then somebody needs to step in and say, hold it. Hold it. Now y'all really need to stop. There are better ways to solve this. And we might need to settle this like adults. We're not children. We might need to settle this like adults. Somebody has to be the adult in the situation. You see what I'm saying? And many times in our lives, we go through relationships, job changes, just general life changes in general. We go through these things, and a lot of times we ask people, well, what do you think? All the time, knowing you've already made up your mind for one. Second of all, you're not looking for nobody to disagree with you. Really and truly, what you're looking for is an affirmation to what you've already made up your mind for. Yeah, I said that. You're looking for a yes man. You're looking for a yes woman. Somebody to tell you, yes, this is okay. Like, say you've made a decision to say something out of the way to somebody or do something out of the way to somebody. Really? Really? And then somebody comes along and they tell you, you've already told them what you planning on doing. And this person comes up and said, look, you might not want to do that. And if you do say something, why not just wait and let cooler heads prevail? No, I got to, no, they said this, they said they did this to me, they did that to me. You don't know me, they don't know me. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Well, if you've already made up your mind, then why did you seek out wise counsel? Why did you tell somebody? If you've already made up your mind, you're not wanting anybody to actually talk you out of what you've already planned. That's not your plan. What you're actually looking for is somebody to tell you, yeah, yeah, say it. I'll go with you. You're looking for a ride or die. You're not looking for that person to tell you, look, let that go. That right there, that's not even worth talking about. It's not worth dealing with. It's not worth you going to jail, losing your freedom or your life over something trivial. Do you see what I'm saying? Never reject wise counsel. Never reject that. We reject a lot of things that are good for us because we don't want to hear it. We don't want to deal with it. It's a bitter pill to swallow a lot of times. The truth is a bitter pill to swallow sometimes, but sometimes we need that dose of truth to bring us back to reality. We need that dose of truth to let us know that we've gone too far one way or the other, and we're too far off the path. We are too far off of our path of where we need to be. And somebody needs to be big enough, smart enough, strong enough to stand up to you and let you know you're wrong. You're wrong about that. Is that you? Are you always the person who wants to keep the peace? Are you the wise person who always comes along and said, look, this is the way we really need to handle this. We need to be adult about it. We need to be calm about it. We need to allow cooler heads to prevail. We can talk through this. Is that you? Or are you the one, the hothead, that somebody looks at you wrong, says the wrong thing, and you're ready to go to war? Is that you? Because if it is you, you need somebody around you all the time to give you some wise counsel to keep you online. Never reject wise counsel. Do you know that in this life, we do not know everything? We don't know everything, because if we knew everything, then we'd be God. You think? We'd be the divine creator if we knew everything. Somebody out there is always going to be smarter and wiser than you. Did you know that? None of us have it all together. None of us. Don't even fool yourself into believing that you have it all together, that you have all the answers. You don't. That's why we were created. We were created for each other. We were created to be used by each other. Not used in a bad way, but used in a good way. Used to help each other, to provide wise counsel for each other, to listen to each other, to lift each other up, to hold each other up, to be there for each other, to be a friend to each other, not an enemy, not somebody tearing somebody down, not somebody being there with the gossip and the he say and the she say and the they say. He say, she say, they say. Do you know how many people are behind bars and in the ground because of he say, she say, they say? Do you know? That brings to mind A friend of ours, when we were in high school, and I know this may deviate from what we're talking about, but it serves a good point. There was a friend of ours in high school. His name was Donnie Keith. Donnie Keith was at the door at a dance at our old elementary school at St. Francis. And it was late in the evening. And this certain guy came up. The admission was only $1. Okay? It's $1 to get in. This guy showed up late in the evening. Dance was about 3/4 of the way over. He comes up and feels privileged enough to say that he needs to get in for half price. He needs to get in for 50 cents. And Donnie Keith, being the person that he was, a person of integrity, told him no, the dance is $1. It's $1 to get in. It was a fundraiser, come on. And do you know what? Do you know later on that day, our friend, our classmate, lost his life over 50 cents. He lost his life. Not a finger, not a limb, not blood. He lost his life over 50 cents. Anybody there would have been willing to give him $1 to get in. But because Donnie chose to follow the rules set to him, that this was the way it was supposed to be, he lost his life. So where are you going with that, Falami? When you don't listen to wise counsel and you go about your way doing foolish things, you can lose your life or your freedom. No, nobody wants to hear, "I told you so." Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear it. Yeah, I still got the nets, y'all. Nobody wants to hear that, but however, somebody needs to be that voice in your head to keep you from doing something crazy, something foolish, something stupid, something that you're never going to recover from in this lifetime. Imagine how many people have lost their life because of doing something stupid. Imagine how many people that are behind bars right now because they did something stupid on an impulse. You did something impetuous, and this is what you found. This is where you landed, behind bars. Our parents told us all the time, don't do anything. Nothing. Do not do anything that you are not willing to pay the consequences for. That was drilled into us from a young age. We were always told that your actions will have consequences. Are you willing to pay the consequences for your actions? Never reject wise counsel. There's somebody out there, regardless as to who it is and how old they are, that can tell you something, that can bring you to reality, that can make that one day, that one moment, an epiphany moment for you, that can literally turn your life around. and save you from a whole mess of grief by never rejecting wise counsel. You know, when we were children, we always saw our parents as old folk. Them old folk, they don't know what they talking about. They just old. They don't want us to have no fun. Da 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 da. Little did we know, those old folks is what kept us out of a lot of trouble. They kept us out of a lot of trouble. They kept us from doing some foolish and impetuous things. Yes, we did our dirt. We sure did. We got a lot of whoopings for it. We got a lot of punishment for it. It was enjoyable while we did it. But guess what? We lived to see another day. And we retained our freedom for it by listening to wise counsel. You know, a lot of people, they come to me and they say, oh, well, this and that. And, you know, I sit there and I listen and I ask them, I said, so what's your plan? What do you mean? So what's your plan? What are you planning on doing? I don't, no. Majority of the time when somebody comes to you and say, okay, I'm upset about this, I'm upset about that, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, they've already made up their mind. Don't get me wrong, they have already made up their mind as to what they're going to do. It is up to you, the person doing the listening, to be that voice in their head, to provide that wise counsel for a person who is mentally out of control. You know, anger is a bad thing when used the wrong way. Anger is a twofold emotion. On one hand, anger can be a motivator. If somebody calls you dumb, what are you going to do? You're going to show them, I'm not dumb. I can do anything I want to do. Do you see the motivation? Somebody had to push a button on you in order to move you forward, to motivate you to do better. You know, sometimes people say, ooh, I don't like that. You don't? Well, I can fix it. And I can show you I can fix it. Do you see the motivation? Sometimes a negative comment will have to make you angry enough to move in a different direction, to do something different, to think differently. That's healthy anger. Unhealthy anger, on the other hand, causes harm, puts other people in danger, puts you in danger. That's unhealthy anger. That's uncontrollable anger. When you become that angry and you're out of control, now you become dangerous. You're dangerous to everybody around you. Everybody around you now is in danger because you are so out of control and so full of anger and rage. Wise counsel is not even going to strike because you're so full of this anger, so full of this rage, so full of this revenge, this vengefulness, is that you're not going to listen to anyone. That's that point of too late. it is too late to try to reel you back in on what you're about to do. I tell people all the time, I try not to get that angry. I get angry, I sure do. Just like everybody else, everybody gets angry. It is our right to be angry. But what are you going to do with that anger? Are you going to use that anger to change something for the better? Or are you going to use that anger to change something for your detriment, for your harm? Because I promise you, detriment brings about consequences. Anger used the wrong way will bring about consequences. Sometimes consequences that you're not willing to pay. If somebody thinks enough of you to tell you the truth, you need to listen. If someone thinks enough of you to pull you to the side and say, look, this is what's going on. I know you may not believe me. I know this may hurt you. I know that, we don't talk like that. We not click tight like that. But I care enough about you not to want to see you hurt. Never reject wise counsel. I've had that happen to me numerous times. When I have gone to people because I cared enough for them not to want to see them hurt, not to want to see them used and abused, being made fun of, I didn't want that for anybody because I didn't want that for myself. Even though, yes, that has happened to me. While people sat back and they knew what was going on. They knew that I was being used and being made a fool of. They knew. But they chose to say nothing. They chose to sit back and laugh at me. And become a part of my hurt and a part of my pain. I don't want that for anybody. I don't want that for anyone. No one deserves that. If you know the truth, tell it. Is it always pretty? No. Do people always want to hear it? No. But one thing about it you can say is that you cleared your conscience. Your conscience is clear. What the other person does with the information, that's not on you. When you're big enough to put an end to some foolishness and stand up and be the man and woman of integrity that you are, and give that wise counsel in its time, in its season, and in its proper place, then you have done something. You have changed the whole life. You have changed the whole situation. Never reject wise counsel. Ever. Never reject it, because there is always value in it. There's always value in wise words. The world got enough fools. Do you need to be one too? Do you need to be a part of the fool brigade? How would you feel when you find out, if no one ever told you, how would you feel to find out that someone's been making a fool out of you? And not just for a day, a week, a month, This been going on for some time, for some years, for some time. And somebody has been using you and making a fool of you, lying to you. How does that feel? But you always had that friend, that family member that was always telling you, this person is not good for you. They don't mean you any good. Don't go to so-and-so because I already know what's going to happen. Somebody already told me what they're planning. Even your conscience will tell you sometimes. Even your conscience will be wise counsel for you. You get ready to get up and go someplace, go to an event or something like that, and some said, don't go. Some said, stay at home. Stay at home or go later. Even your conscience is trying to protect you a lot of times from yourself. You know that? Our conscience a lot of times, sometimes we need protection from our own self. And sometimes our conscience has to kick on and remind us that, hey, this is not good. Do we have our listening ears on so we can even hear our conscience speaking to us? Are we even that in tune with ourselves that we can hear our own conscience trying to keep us out of danger? Are you listening? You know, we say it all the time. Some told me don't go. Some say, when you're in the midst of something and something has happened, some told me not to go. Some told me to stay at home. Some told me don't do this. Some told me not to call that person. Some told me not to. And since you didn't listen, guess what? You pay the consequences for not listening. Do you see what I'm saying? Do you see the simplicity in that? The simplicity in just listening. A lot of us hear. A lot of us, we hear, but do we listen? It's one thing to hear, but it's a whole nother thing to listen. A lot of people have no idea how to listen. They know how to hear, but they have no idea about how to listen. Because when you listen, that means that has gone through your ear, to your conscience, to your subconscious. You have ingested that, and now you have something to use. Majority of the time, we hear stuff. It don't even make it to the ear. It's just still floating around in the air, just like traffic noise. Never made it here, but it's still just. Did you hear me? I heard you. Did you hear what I said? I heard you. But then when wise counsel fails, girl, I should have listened to what you said. This happened, that happened, and I got caught up in this, I got caught up in that, and this happened, this person, they did this and they did that. Please don't say I told you so. Nobody wants to hear I told you so. And definitely don't be wagging the finger with us. I told you. See, I told you so. That's terrible, y'all. I told you so. Who wanna hear that with the wagging finger? Don't nobody wanna hear that. Just say, yeah, we talked about it, or yeah, it's happened. Never reject wise counsel. Never. Wise counsel may save your life one day, or the life of someone you love. Even the scripture says, be quick to hear and slow to speak. That a wise man will choose his words carefully, whereas a fool will speak his whole mind. A wise man speaking his words carefully, and a fool just yammering on, just going on, just having the whatever. Just yap. There's no TMI. There's no candor. There's no cap. They're just a fool, out of control, just talking for the sake of talking to hear themselves talking. Scripture talks about that too. It's called vain babblings. Do you not know that in all reality, if you do not have anything wise or of substance to say, that you're not supposed to say anything? Did you know that? That's what vain babblings is about, is that it's telling you, if you don't have anything of substance to say that's going to either uplift someone or a situation or help someone, what are you talking for? Many times, a lot of people talk for the sake of talking. They ain't talking about a doggone thing. And majority of the time, they don't even know what they're talking about, because it's something that they heard. I heard that someone said this, that, and I heard. Where's the wise counsel in I heard? There's no wise counsel in that. Really? I want you to think about this. Think about this very, very hard. Think about this very sincerely. Which side are you on? Are you on the side of wise counsel? Or are you on the side of foolishness and drama and gossip? Do you talk for the sake of talking? Or when you open your mouth, is something profound going to come out? Something that can help another person going to come out? Or is every time you open your mouth, you're speaking something foolish? Nothing but foolishness, just empty words, just yap. You yapping for the sake of yapping. Which one are you? I admonish you today to choose to be a little more wise. Choose to choose your words carefully and skillfully. You never know who's listening to what you're saying, to what you're talking about. You never know who's watching you. who is looking up to you because they want to be you. And if somebody is looking up to you, do you want them to be a fool like you? Is that what you desire? Use your words carefully, because the very words you speak could be your last. Never reject wise counsel. Always be willing to give it. And when you give it in love and let it go. Okay? You don't have to keep beating nobody over the head with it. You don't even have to repeat it over and over and over again. Say it, release it, and move on. If it is meant for that person to receive that word that you speak to them, they'll receive it. If not, they're going to reject it, and they're going to suffer the consequences for their actions. Choose wisdom. Choose wisdom. I admonish you, choose wisdom today. Okay? And remember, never reject wise counsel, regardless as to who it comes from. It may even come from your enemy. Yeah. Your enemy may be the one to save your life one day. Okay? Think about that. Have a great one. Peace.